I think what I liked the most about our is obviously we won, but I saw in the team a resilience factor on the road. They worked through the whole game. They continued to make adjustments collectively. The whole group just kept a real business approach to the game, and that it just really that as a coach you love to see that, because that's a sign of a maturity coming upon the team. That's a sign of the group really taking the right type of mental approach to each game. And on the road you have to have a little more grit, a little bit more focus to you, and they did. And so I really like that about them.
Was it a case of Dixie State in that first half? Dixie, like I think you said the other night, they had a pretty good game plan, and obviously they were playing high going after their first win, and then you guys made adjustments.
Well, I think there is a bit of a rivalry that goes with Dixie State as Azusa Pacific because of our proximity with each other. Dixie is always a proud program. They always have their athletes. They've been competitive year in, year out. So our two teams play. We know we're going to get the very best out of them. And obviously they get paid to coach too, and then they made some great calls. But I think I could go back to my previous point, and then that's to see the defense just continue to grow and learn and to work through the adjustments, make the adaptations to where they fixed where they believe that they were trying to attack us. So that's where I really appreciate our staff, the defensive staff, and the defensive seniors, and just that group where they were able to move themselves and work the sidelines and be able to adjust. I think they did an outstanding job with the halftime adjustments to come out and only allow 3 points in the second half. That's a sign of a good football team. The DNA is there to be a team that can achieve some very high levels. Now, with that said, we don't want to get ourselves in those situations all the time. We would like to see ourselves come out a little bit out of the break, make the adaptation sooner. But hey, like I said, with eight new starters on defense, these are some of the growing pains that you go through. And so with us as a coaching staff, we're not frustrated by it. We just want to help lead them through it so they can grow and adapt to this as soon as possible.
And talk about another great game by Chad, like you said, both running and throwing the ball.
Well, you want our quarterback in our system when we recruit. He's always someone who has to be a threat with the legs. You saw in the first few games when we were getting our quarterback situation figured out that everybody was able to isolate on our running game. Running back was Terrell Watson. Now they're having to distribute the field a little more evenly because Chad does a very good job of passing the ball, does a very good job with his legs. So you're starting to see our offense mature more about what we envisioned it to be, and so the second dimension of passing and even a third dimension of the quarterback running is starting to come about. So where we're at right now is we poised ourselves to go in the league. I think we're happy with the quarterback play, and we're happy with how the offense is growing.
Talk a little about your league opener now. This week, a pretty tough opponent.
Right. Yeah, I think with Central Washington, they are historically one of the best teams in this whole league. But one thing I say it every single week, and even go back to this last game with Dixie State, is that every team in this league is a very proud group. They play extremely hard. The coaches work very hard and putting the best product out there. This league is very tough, and so anytime we can get a win against a GNAC opponent is an exciting thing for us. So we understand that this Saturday, as you open a league play across the whole West Coast for the GNAC, that there's going to be some real hard-fought battles. And so we understand going into this game that our very best needs to come out of us. We're now all in that place where preseason games are over, and so everything counts. And so in the national scope of this league, making the playoffs, I think a lot of the head coaches and the teams, they have that in the back of their mind. And so the hunt is on, and it's been on, but now you understand even all the more is that there's blood in the water, and then every team in this league is hunting for this thing now to go get that league championship.
As well, what do you view on the early film? What do you see that Central Washington? What's their strength?
Well, their offense is outstanding. I mean, just they're explosive. They're a type of offense that their quarterback can make plays with his legs, make plays with his arms. With his arm, they have good running backs, stable running backs. Their offensive line is big. They're mobile. They have receivers that can threaten you downfield. So they have a very well balanced offense that are going to make you play at every point. And so defensively, they're fast and aggressive. They bring a lot of pressure. They do a very good job with their man coverage. I think when you look at Central Washington, they're a solid group, and so we understand going into that is that we too are a solid group. We too are a great team with a lot of the right pieces in the place. But now what it is that it's hey, who can bring it together even faster? Who can maximize each play? Each play begins to matter as you get into league play. So you see that this is having won the league championship last year and gone through a second time in the league, what we have learned is that when you take an approach to a GNAT contest is that you're looking for it's a 4-quarter contest, overtime if necessary, but you're going to get some of the hardest football out there.
For the Dixie State game, their offense was dangerous in a number of ways. So how pleased were you with the in-game adjustments that your defense made to eventually shut them down by the end of the game?
Well, I'm very pleased with this, the fact that you can make adjustments like that. Once again, it's like I said, it's a credit to the staff, credit to the players on defense, that they kept their cool about it. They were able to work through the adjustments. Everybody was able to collaborate well together and get ourselves where, okay, you begin to solve it and take away what they want to do. So, as a head coach, you want the victory, and I think and then we came out with a win, which is great. But I think in the bigger picture, as I look at it, you want a staff, you want a group of players that can work the whole game and continue to get better. So sometimes I've been around some seasons where you didn't have a group that wasn't very adaptable. This group's very adaptable, and they're able to adjust themselves, keep their cool, continue to play hard. And they did it, and that to me is there isn't a stat for it, but that's a solid point for who this team is.
And then, Coach, going back to the offense, you talked about Chad already in the quarterback
Right.
situation. He completed 60% of his passes again. Back-to-back weeks of solid, balanced production from the offense. What's the next step of development for that group?
Well, I think you still have a lot in the passing game that you can develop, and I think I know this is that. Our receivers, we have a very quality group of receivers that can win their one-on-one battles. I know the passing game, is going to continue to develop and continue to be even more of a weapon. Chad is coming off his third start of just college, and so his third start since high school. So what you see in him is that he continues to develop and grow each week. So there's still a high ceiling on what this passing game can become. And then also, likewise, just the running game. I mean, I think where there are still more yards on the table. I know Terrell is and Ryan Adams and the offensive line. They're not satisfied. They're hungry for way more. And so that's where I know this Coach Carlton and this offensive staff. They have a very high standard about themselves, which reflects the standard for this whole football team. And we want more. We want to continue to pursue this thing, and we want to end this 2014 season saying that we maximized ourselves. We became the very best football team that we possibly can be, and that's our goal.
And then this week kicks off the portion of the schedule that counts in the conference standings.
Right.
How excited are you to add that level of importance to these games as you go forward?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting. I mean, league play is exciting, and once again, I know I sound like a broken record, but it is what it is. Every week is its own season here, and then you have a GNAT contest. It's there's a heightened sense of awareness even all the more, and not that we didn't have it before, but everybody knows this is it. I mean, we've tasted what being a league champion is about. We want to continually to do that, and I know other staffs in this league, they want it the same way. So essentially it's all 0-0 now, and this hunt is going to be an exciting one. It's going to have a lot of top ups and downs, and I think our team is ready to be adaptable and persevere to put our very best towards this effort.
So Central Washington, they opened up with a win against Simon Fraser last week, so they got a leg up on the conference, if you will. But
Right.
What really stood out in that victory as you watched the game from
Right.
Simon Fraser? What are you most nervous about or most excited to face against Central Washington?
Well, I think, like I said, they're a well-rounded football team. They had some great special teams plays, blocking punts. They had, once again, their offensive continued to develop their own run game. They brought some more running backs into the picture. I think defensively they were able to shut down a group that who we know we've played them, and that while Simon Fraser is a bit beat up right now, We understand that Simon Fraser's a proud group too, and they can get after it. And so Central Washington really played a great game. So, we understand that they're peaking at the right time where it's league play, and so it is that time. It's just we've got our hands full, and so we're excited to go to their place and play, which is going to be in our opinion just one of the best matchups there are this whole week. So we're excited to play it.
Last year up at Central Washington, it was kind of a breakout game for some of your younger guys. True freshman had a pick six. That was C.J. Broussard, and then Tarek Miles, another true freshman, had a kick return for touchdown. They had a huge impact on this game. It was a little bit later in the year, but maybe who are some of those breakout players? Who are some younger guys that have stood out to you through this first month of the season?
Well, I think you love the fact that he's not a younger guy, but he's transitioned over to a new position. Ronald Douglas was a running back for us the whole time. His first year playing corner for us. He's done a very good job of just taking that corner position and being somebody who we can count on. I think other defensive standouts, guys that you're really excited about, is Jonathan Thrope, who has done an outstanding job at the rover position. You look at offensively, Jacob Olson moved to centers, first-time center position, doing a great job. And Ethan Zeidler playing wide receivers is really giving us some great depth there. It can go on and on where we have younger guys starting to step up. And college football is all about replacing that graduating senior, or in some unfortunate circumstances, a injured player. That next man up approach is something that you just got to have at a great football program. And so thankfully our guys really own that. And so there'll be a lot more guys even in the future stepping up and continuing to get out there and to make plays for us.
Great.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you. National Coffee Day. I want to thank Classic Coffee for their coffee. So congratulations, everyone.
Thank you.